Welcome in, folks. Kevin Thomas alongside John Epps, Moving the Chains. We are here tonight, John. This has been a lot of talking for us lately. I'll tell you that right now. 3 nights in a row. But tonight we've got our Week 0 high school football preview show. We've kind of given you our breakdowns of what we think can happen throughout the season in 1, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. Tonight we're just going to talk about just what's happening here in Week 0. We've waited so long to get here. Yeah, it's been a long wait. We're looking forward to a real high school football season and not just a shortened 7-game, 4-game, 3-game, whatever season a lot of people had last year. So, John, I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get Week 0 rolling here.
Yeah, I hope we need to go ahead and get it underway before we have more games canceled. We've got a bit of that still going around.
Yeah, we've got some cancellations. Tell you what, I feel like we've had fewer today than we have in the past couple of days. So that's a positive at least. But we have seen probably anywhere from 10 to probably more than that, probably 20 to 30 games canceled so far already. But hopefully that's the end of it. But if you're here, welcome in. I see Jay Laws tuning in. Appreciate you, man, for watching us here already. Follow us on Facebook at Movin the Chains SC. Like our post, like our page, share it to your friends, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Follow us over on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. We put the show all there for you. One more note I want to make here, John, before we get going. I don't know if you know this or not. This is the 4-year anniversary of our first live show.
Oh, very cool.
So we started this on a Friday night 4 years ago. Here we are live now doing it for the 4th year. Excited to get rolling here, John. And let's start off this Week 0 preview with our 4 games of the week. We're going to run through the whole state, but here's our 4 biggest ones. I think the biggest one for me, John, or one of the biggest here, obviously, a game that we're probably going to be going to, that's Greenwood at Hillcrest. Looking at these two teams, like we mentioned the other night, Greenwood lost 30 seniors. That's a lot of people to lose. Hillcrest lost a good bit, but they brought back some guys too. The quarterback's back. Coach got his 2nd year. What do you see happening kind of in this game Friday night over at Hillcrest?
I think we're going to see a hungry Greenwood team. I think Hillcrest they're going to have a deeper team. They're a bigger school, right? But I think we're going to see a lot of fire out of a Greenwood team. This Greenwood team last year I thought was very, very good. Mm-hmm. They were very impressive. And I'm looking at the SC media prep poll that came out
today or sometime around today.
And I've gone through 4A a couple times. I don't see Greenwood. Not in the top 10.
I got to mention that, we talked earlier, the last couple days about how the high school sports support poll, we didn't agree with some of that stuff. They agreed with number 2. And I said, I think that's way too high. Obviously, so does the rest of the prep writers here. But I don't know if I'd say I'd knock him out of the top 10. But I thought number 2 was too high, obviously, and so did they. But I think it's going to be a great ball game. I really do.
Yeah, I think Hillcrest is a really good team. We saw them play last year. They played Hannah, which was at the end of the year. It might have been the last regular season.
It was for the region championship. Yep.
For the region championship in Anderson. Hillcrest hung tough. Mm-hmm. And it turned out that was against the team that won the upper state title.
Yep.
And TL Hannah went down and played Dutch Wharton Columbia. And they got beat by a couple scores, but they played them pretty tough in the second half. I think it was scoreless in the second half, 28-6 final. Conclusion, Hillcrest is a pretty good ball team.
Yeah,
I expect them to be a pretty good team. Probably out of that region, the favorite, Hannah's in that region as well, right?
They are.
I would say Hillcrest is probably number 2 behind Hannah in that region. But Greenwood, this is a chance for Greenwood, and I talked about this a lot last year too. These non-region games where you have a lower class playing a higher class. Mm-hmm. Greenwood, they don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
And, really Hillcrest doesn't either, but there's a little bit more pressure on Hillcrest because, hey, they are expected to be good. Mm-hmm. They are expected to win this game. They shouldn't have trouble with Greenwood. But Greenwood's a team, they can knock them off, and I want to pick Greenwood. I want to take Hillcrest in the close one because it's in Simpsonville, but I think it's going to be a very, very competitive game.
Yeah, like we mentioned, I like the Judy kid, the quarterback, a lot for Hillcrest. He's a good player, runs well and throws well for them. I do want to mention this, John. Greenwood, like we said, year 2 with Chris Liner, running that option offense. How much does playing in a region with TL Hannah and Woodmont help you prepare for that? A lot of these schools, you don't see as much of that anymore, the triple option wing T thing. Hillcrest gets a couple doses of that last year with Woodmont and T.L. Hannah. Maybe that helps them prepare a little bit before Greenwood. I'm going to lean Hillcrest as well, especially at home. I think in just, first game of the year, Greenwood's going to have a lot of young kids. I don't know if they'll quite be ready to step up and knock off a 5A power like Hillcrest. So I'm leaning that way as well for Friday night. And, get in here with your comments. If you guys think something else, let us know. But I think we're both kind of leaning the same way there with the Rams.
And I don't know a ton about, what the roster looks like between. I didn't know they had 30 seniors last year until you brought up the other night. But, hey, do they have 25, 30, 11th graders? They're now 12th graders this year, too. I don't know. And I don't know how much they rotated guys in and out. It was hard to tell during, game that I went to last year. But I talked about earlier this week. I saw them play Greenville in Stream Stadium last year, and they were very, very impressive. And you saying 30 seniors? I believe it because they played like a veteran team, like a team that is calm, collected, know what they're doing.
Yep.
They made Greenville look like a team that was younger, inexperienced, and not ready for a couple twists and turns that Greenwood had up their sleeve.
Josh, we've been to our second game of the week here. This one actually might be my favorite in the state, and that is Gray Collegiate, the War Eagles, traveling down to Camden to take on the Bulldogs. John, this is going to be a whale of a ball game here in week one between a 2A Gray Collegiate, 3A Camden, both of them right there, top of their class. What do you see happening between those two?
I think it's going to be a great game, and Gray Collegiate, they're checking in on the media poll. They're the number 2 team in 2A, only behind Abbeville. We all know about Abbeville.
Yes.
And then Camden, they are starting the season off in a tie for second in 3A with Chapman trailing just Daniel, which I think is well warranted. And we can talk about the poll in a little bit here, but I think the way they got 3A is, I think it's broken out extremely well. I would put it about how they had it. But I think it's a game where Camden, it's hard to tell what's going to come from Camden.
Yep.
They lose Lane, who was a tremendous running back for them last year. Was up for. Did he win Gatorade State Player of the Year? I know he was in the running.
He did. I don't remember exactly.
I think he won. There's a couple of awards now going around for Player of the Year, but I think he won Gatorade Player of the Year. And then their quarterback, who was also a pretty mobile guy, they lose him as well. But the quarterback they have this year is more adept at passing. So the Camden offense is going to completely change this year. They feel very confident in it.
Yep.
And they felt very confident in it over the spring, this coming spring, without even going through fall camp. So that's encouraging to me that Camden's going to be very good again. Gray Collegiate, I don't know as much about them as far as what happened last year between what they have this year.
Yeah.
But they were an awesome team last year. I think this, again, could be a very, very competitive game. I think this is one where you're not going to be able to tell who's the 3A team and who's the 2A team.
Yeah.
But at Zimp Stadium, Camden, coming off the great season they had, lower state champs last year, I take Camden in this game, but I think Gray is going to be an impressive team. And hey, Gray might be a team that can challenge Abbeville this year.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this one I'm going to lean a little bit the other way from you. I think they're going to be a very close ball game. I like Gray because, like I mentioned again, huge KZ Adams, a running back fan. Love that kid, and I just worry about Camden in game one with how much of a switch you're having to go through from last year to this year with the rushing offense to passing offense. I think that Gray may be a little bit too much. This is a game that is going to come down to the wire, if you ask me. I don't think there's blood either way, but should be a great game down there. Quick shout out to some viewers here: Jay, Sarah, David's in here, Jordan's in here. We've got Derek in here, Jimmy Searson, Darius Williams. Jimmy says they mentioned the Richmond Hill Beaufort game. Should be a great game. Haven't gotten to that one yet. We'll get to that one here in a little bit here, Jimmy. Our third game of the week. This is a game where you're going to see a pretty big classification difference here, John. And that is Goose Creek going down to play Oceanside at Johnson Haygood. So it's not really going down, but kind of a neutral site game between those two. This is a game I really don't know where I want to lean. I think both these teams are going to be contenders in their classification. I know that the Goose Creek has a pretty good running back, Dimitri Simmons, there for them, and a quarterback, Drew Moore, is a pretty good player. Oceanside, led by running back Vaughn Blue, is a good player there. I got a good defense with DeVoe and Arnold as well. I think I'm gonna lean Goose Creek just because I mean honestly they're a bigger school and they've got a little more depth probably there than Oceanside does. But if Oceanside can even just keep this game close, I think that's gonna tell the world about those guys. I mean that's a big get for them. But I think I'm gonna go Goose Creek here in this matchup.
I'll go Goose Creek as well. I don't know how close it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being at least a 2-score game. Just the huge jump in, just going between the depth that Oceanside will have compared to what Goose Creek will have. And, it's not just 5A against 2A. It's 5A against 3A. It's a very, very perennial power in 5A. A hungry Goose Creek team. Goose Creek has not been great last few years.
Yeah. What's their slogan? The creek is rising or something like that, I think. So watch out now.
And they put out some pretty good videos.
They
too.
do. They've got a good social team. They do.
Yeah, Goose Creek, they take it very serious. I think anybody on here that follows South Carolina high school football a little bit knows that Goose Creek takes it very serious. But I think for Oceanside, it's, again, for them, it's, hey, we got nothing to lose.
Yep.
Let's go out and if we have some success and we keep it somewhat close, that's going to be very encouraging. That's the number 16 in 3A. I think that's a little bit low for them. I think they're better than that.
Yeah.
This is a team that got robbed of their playoff run last year because of COVID. They were supposed to host Camden in the second round of the playoffs, did not get a chance to do that. I think Oceanside's a team that's going to contend for the 3A state championship.
And we mentioned the other night, new quarterback Colby Shirley coming over from Somerville. I think he's going to be the X factor Friday night. But I think I'm going to have to lean Goose Creek with you there as well. And then our fourth and final game of the week, John, the four biggest ones that we thought about. This is a matchup that every year it's a game of the week whenever they play, and that's Gaffney at Spartanburg. Over at the new stadium there at Spartanburg, going to be a great ball game. Gaffney, like we talked about in the preview show for 5A, they lost a lot. They really did. Lost the quarterback, lost some receivers, lost the big D lineman. But they brought back some talent. I know the Hoey kid there. They got the quarterback Grayson Loftus coming over from Blue Ridge there to Gaffney. Who else do they have? They have Daddle on defense. Is always a good player at the linebacker position there. Spartanburg, we talked about Mark Hodge, coming from Chapman to Spartanburg, his second year there. Getting a full offseason, how was second to help them out. Raheem Jeter, his second year in Mark Hodge's system. Big time quarterback prospect. We've seen him at Burns Middle School and then at Greer and then now here at Spartanburg. How much more the offense has been installed in year two, hard to say. And, we've seen what he can do. Coach Hodge does with quarterbacks like the Colasardo kid at Chapman. He knows how to coach them and have those guys in a good position there. And I mentioned this on that too. I think this Spartanburg is going to have one of the better defenses in the upstate, if not the state, there in 5A. So interesting to see what they can do at home against Gaffney. John, what way are you leaning this game?
So I listened to a friend. There's a college football show, and they do their Stone Cold Locks of the week. I'm not quite ready to make this a Stone Cold lock. I think Gaffney wins this pretty easy.
Man, going on the road to Spartanburg, you think, and to take them out?
I think Gaffney's going to win this one pretty handily. I think Gaffney. We talk about, wow, Gaffney lost a lot. We say that every year.
Yeah.
And every year they replenish. And they don't have the 4 or 5-star talent like they did last year. They had some really, really good players last year. Defensive end that went to Georgia.
Receiver went to North Carolina. Yeah.
So they did lose a lot of talent. Although we're not having back this year. But Gaffney's just a great player.
Yeah, they are.
I was disappointed in Spartanburg last year. I was expecting more. And after what Chapman did last year, I'm starting to think maybe it's Chapman that's carrying that attitude. Maybe it wasn't Coach Hodge, maybe it was, and he needs another year. I don't know, but I'm not going to buy it until I see it from Spartanburg.
Yeah.
Spartanburg, last couple of years, they had not been the typical Spartanburg Vikings.
That's very true.
Gaffney has been.
Yeah.
I'm taking Gaffney. I think they win by at least 2 or 3 scores.
Okay, I like that. I think it's a closer game than that. I think I'm going Gaffney as well, but I'm going to say 10 to 14 points, I think, and that's what, we'll see Friday night. Should be a good ball game there, John. Now, so that wraps up our games of the week. Do you want to get into prep poll, state games? What do you want to do?
Let me, since we just got the prep poll here, fresh off the presses.
Before you start that, let me make a note, guys. Don't tune out. We've got a special pick'em announcement coming at the end of the show here about how you guys can win some prizes from us with our weekly pick'em we're going to be doing. So stay tuned for that. I've got some new viewers here, William and Brian. I see Jimmy. I appreciate you guys tuning in. But, John, let's go through that prep poll right quick. Just kind of give you guys what we talked about from the prep writer today. Not saying we agree with it. We didn't write this poll, but it's out, so we want to just give you guys a look at what the standings are going into week 0 here.
We'll start with 1A. Not a whole lot of surprises here. We got number 10 Louisville, number 9 C.A. Johnson, 8 Wagner Sally, 7 Baptist Hill, 6 Blackville Hilda, number 5 Bamberg Earhart, 4 is Whale Branch, 3 Lamar, 2 Lakeview, and number 1 Southside Christian. That's about how I draw it up.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of difference here. We saw Lamar at 10, Lamar at 3 now, and this one compared to the high school sports report ranking. So you'll see some differences for sure. But like you said, we think Southside Christian's probably the team to beat there in 1A.
Yeah, and they got all first place votes as well. Moving on to 2A, this one quite a bit different, and I think I like this one a little bit better than the high school sports report too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 Christ Church, 9 Batesburg Leesville, 8 Saluda, 7 Andrews, 6 Newberry, 5 is Chesney, 4 Barnwell, 3 Marion, 2 Gray Collegiate, and number 1, of course, Abbeville. I think this is a good setup. We noticed high school sports report did not have Marion.
Even in the top 10.
Defending lower state champs. Did not have them in the top 10. Here we see them 3. I think they deserve that. I like to see that there.
Yeah. And I'll make a point here. I think that, obviously there's something to be said for what they did last year. I think they're third best team in 2A? Probably not. But I also think it's hard to leave them out of the top 10 like the other poll did too. So we'll see what happens with them. They've got a big game Thursday night against Carver's Bay. They got rescheduled when they had their game against Johnsonville canceled due to COVID. So Marion stepping down to play a 1A Carver's Bay. We'll see what happens. Should be a good ball game Thursday night. Yeah,
expect a lot out of Carver's Bay.
Should be a good game.
Also, want to note here, we talked about the region. I don't remember the exact number of region, but Newberry, Saluda, Batesburg, Leesville, all the same region, ranked 6, 8, and 9.
Yep.
That's gonna be a great
region
to watch. Moving on to 3A, my favorite, and I think they've got this. It's probably exactly how I would have put 3A.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 10, the front half. I don't know about the back half here. Number 10, Union County. 9, Brooklyn Casey. 8 is Beaufort. I might have put them a little bit higher. 7 is Chester. 6, Dillon. 5 is Wren. 4, Oceanside Collegiate. A tie for second between Chapman and Camden. And number 1 is Daniel getting all first place votes in 3A as well.
One thing I want to mention there, you hate to see it. We would have had a top 10 matchup, Chester Union County this week due to COVID, got canceled. That would have been a great game, but yeah, hate to see that missed.
And that's going back to the old when we had the Big 16 in place. That was a big time game. Typically, that was Union's homecoming game. Yeah. Inviting Chester to town. Chester struggled in that region.
It's funny. Neither one of those teams were in the top 10 in the other poll, but now they're in the top 10 in this one. So I don't know. And not saying anything. We're just saying.
And Chester, they've got athlete on their team, 3-star guy, probably the best player. His name escapes me now. Actually, give me 2 seconds here. Probably the best player in 3A. So we'll have to keep tabs on Chester all year, keep up with them. That is Zan Dunham out of Chester, getting some D1 offers for the Cyclones. But I like this poll. I think that's set up pretty well. We had talked earlier. I think Gaines is going to run through 3A this year. It's going to be cool to see who out of the upper state can get through, because I think there's some really, really good talent in the upper state between Chapman, Wren, Chester as well, and heck, maybe Union. We'll see. Union has not been good in a while.
So no, they've had a couple down years for sure.
It will be interesting. The Tanny Hill era had promise, then it went flat relatively quick.
Yeah, they've had a couple playmakers at quarterback in the last couple of years and at running back, but hadn't really been able to really put it together. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens this year with those guys.
Yeah, upper state will be a lot of fun to watch, and lower state as well. I mean, Camden and Oceanside, they're not going to concede anything.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch. Moving on to 4A. This one I think is pretty interesting. Number 10, we've got Greer. I don't think I put them in the top 10. Number 9 is Irmo. 8, Beaufort. 7 is Westside. 6, North Myrtle Beach. Number 5 is South Point. 4, Year 2, Catawba Ridge. Number 3, Greenville. They got 1 first place vote as well. Number 2, Myrtle Beach. And number 1, AC Floor, the defending champs.
This poll is so much different than 4A. I mean, for one, you see AC Floor going 5-1. North Myrtle Beach goes 1-6. Greenwood's out of the top 10 from number 2.
I don't like that.
Do we have North Augusta in there?
North Augusta's not on here.
They're a top 10 team, should be. They're not in the top. They're going from four to out.
They're number 11, if I'm reading this correctly in the votes.
Big changer in 4A. This is one I don't know if I agree. I don't know what to think about this, honestly.
I think it's, 50-50 here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have Greer in here. I don't know if I'd have Irmo in at 9.
I did mention that we had Beaufort as a sleeper because they're outside of the top 10. I think they're a little more fairly ranked.
I think that's an accurate assessment. Westside, I don't know.
I do like the Zamora. The quarterback for them is good. We'll see what happens around. I know they lost to Abbeville and Jamboree. No shame in that, but but we'll see what happens here with those guys.
I do like the Tulsa Ridge in here, but I don't know that I would put them all the way up 4.
Yeah, that's a high ranking.
But I like the top 3. Greenville, I think Greenville, they got the talent.
Of course.
The talent is right there. So I don't, this is kind of like an Oklahoma ranking. Hey, what have they done? But they got the talent. They deserve to be up there pre-season. So good for Greenville. Let's see if they can cash in. And then Myrtle Beach 2, AC 401. That's exactly what I would put too.
Yeah.
Moving on to 5A, and there's some. I like 5A.
Okay.
I'm not saying I totally agree with it, but I like the way it's set up. We got number 10, River Bluff. Number 9, Sumter. 8 is Burns. 7, Gaffney. 6, Ridgeview. A tie at 4 between Dorman and Hannah. Number 3, Northwestern. 2, Fort Dorchester. And number 1, of course, Dutch Fort. Now, we have talked about Dutch Fort gets very little resistance during the regular season. And really not a ton in the playoffs until it seems like Carolina Forest gives them the toughest fight in lower state every year. However, River Bluff is in their region, and I think River Bluff is a pretty good team that showed they were very good in defense last year.
Yeah.
River Bluff checking in at number 10.
Yeah.
So as of now,
and I want to say
top 10 game.
Fort Dorchester was second, right?
That is
so
correct.
lower state's got the first 2 spots right there already.
That's right.
It's surprising. Another one thing we mentioned here, I thought the Sumter was too high, number 2 in the Sports Report poll. Now are they out of the top 10 over there? I think, John, in the prep poll.
Who's that?
Sumter.
Sumter is not in. Or you know what? I absolutely flipped over. Sumter is number 9.
That seems a little more right than.
But here's something that I just find insane. We talked about Carolina Forest.
Yep.
They have been really under the radar last few years. They come flying through lower state, and it's usually Dutch Fort that beats them.
Yeah.
It's usually Dutch Fort's toughest game. They're not in the top 10. They didn't even get any votes.
That's going to be tough.
I mean, did they lose the whole team?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because they played.
The Janet kid at running back, linebacker is a really good player for them. So interesting to see how that's tough. They don't get any votes.
They scored 40-some points. I think Dutch Fort beat them 63-42, something along those lines. It was a basketball score. But fact is, it wasn't one of those games where Dutch Fort was up 56-0 at that.
Yeah.
They were putting up some points. They were making them work for it. So interesting. Top 10 there for 5A.
We'll do a quick shout out to some new viewers here. I see Jimmy's in here, Billy Joe Tanner Chapman in here, Desmond's in here. Appreciate you guys. This is your first time watching us. Like our page, like our video. Send us some comments. We'd love to talk about you. We're gonna get through the state games here in a second. We just went through our games of the week in the prep poll so far. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well at Movin the Chains. Follow us on YouTube. We do an audio-only version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. So we've got stuff for you everywhere. Some new stuff this year. We're going to do it's a weekly preview show like we're doing now. I'm going to do that every Tuesday night. So we'll have that for you guys. And then we'll have some cool wrap-up stuff on the weekend. And like I said, stay tuned for our pick-em information we'll give you later about how you can win prizes from us. But before we move on, John, I want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors here. The Georgia Agency, Bradley, Richard, Wayne, and the crew there. TheGeorgiaAgency.net online. They've been serving insurance needs in South Carolina for over 35 years. They have a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with offices in Mullins, Merle's Inlet. But they can help you out in Columbia, Greenville, Rock Hill, wherever. They've got clients all across the state. So just because you're in the upstate or the Midlands, don't be afraid to call them. If you need insurance for yourself or for your business or you need life insurance or whatever, give Bradley and the crew a call there at the Georgia Agency, and they will certainly help you out. And John, make the new sponsor sound. Hey, that's it. Big shout out to our newest sponsor here, and that is Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union. You see them right there. Located here in the upstate of South Carolina. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees that other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Secured Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securedadvantagefcu.com. That's securedadvantagefcu.com. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union, win at banking, thrive at life. Remember, NCUA. So glad to have those guys on board. They're gonna take care of you if you need any banking needs for sure. So, and if you guys own a business or own a company and wanna sponsor the show, let me know. Love to have you on board. You can sponsor something just like this. You sponsor the podcast, whatever you want to do. So reach out to us. We're very affordable. I'll say it right now. But John, let's get into the statewide schedule. I'm gonna run through that right quick. And if we've got a comment on a game, we'll throw it in there. And if you guys want us to talk about your team, or you got a comment about your team, send me a note here in the chat. I'll mention that too. So, John, let's give the statewide schedule a roll here.
We'll start with 5A. We've got Woodmont at Blue Ridge, Fairfield Central at Blythewood, Fort Mill going to Catawba Ridge. Might be a good game for Catawba there. West Ashley was supposed to go to Daniel. That game got canceled. Clover at Dorman, Wade Hampton at Easley, J.L. Mann at Eastside, Burns at Greer.
The Easley game has been canceled. I know that Easley Wade Hampton has. And I want to make a quick note there of Clover Dorman. That's fun to watch, I think. Dorman's always going to be good. Clover, we know they can score points for Brian Lane. Can they stop anybody? We'll see. But continue there, sorry.
That could be a good one as well.
If the game's canceled, I'll hop in there and say it if I hear of it.
I don't have that here. Nation Ford at Indian Land. Chapin goes to Irmo. West Florence.
I believe that's canceled. I believe Chapin is now playing somebody else. Actually, I'll look it up while you keep going.
Okay. West Florence at Lexington, River Bluff at Lugoff Elgin, Conway at North Myrtle Beach, South Point at Northwestern. Big game there in Rock Hill. Goose Creek at Oceanside, as we talked about. Westwood going to Ridgeview, Greenville going to Rock Hill. That could be a cool game. Gaffney going to Spartanburg, White Knoll at Spring Valley, Loris at St. James, Lakewood going to Sumter, Lawrence at TL Hanna, Riverside going to Travelers Rest, Dutch Fork at Wren. Interesting game there.
So, it is Chapin Keenan now this week. Week 0. Chapin versus Keenan.
Go to that game. Keenan has a great band. The Rubber Renegade. And Malden will go to York. So we go to 4A. Lower Richland will go to Aiken. West Side will go to BHP, Built Huntington Path. AC Florida will go to Brooklyn KC. Richland Northeast will go to Darlington. We've got Crestwood going to Lancaster. Hart
canceled.
And Hartsville at Marlboro County.
Also canceled. Yes.
That game was on
Marlboro County is now hosting Latta on week 0 Friday night. So Latta will go over to Marlboro County. Interesting matchup there. I think the Bulldogs are going to take that one.
That could be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one with the Vikings. We've got May River going to Orangeburg Wilkinson. Liberty was scheduled to play at Pickens. Pickens County has canceled
as well. Yep.
all after-school activities for now. There's no date set yet for when they'll pick back up. So, tough news there for Pickens. Let's see. Silver Bluff will go to South Aiken. Bluffton will go to South Florence. Airport at Swansea. And Colleton County will go to Wade Hampton.
Colleton's canceled.
They will not go. They wanted to go. West Oak will go to Walhalla.
Canceled.
How about Hilton Head Island going to Wilson?
Canceled.
And Wilson's got a beautiful new stadium.
They're going to open it up Saturday. Can't do it now.
They did have a jamboree that they got to host.
Which they got shut out by Trinity Collegiate. The school. Wasn't a good look for those boys.
Not a good way to break it in.
Not a good look for those boys.
All right, well, that does it for 4A. Let's see what 3A's got for us here. We've got a couple repeats, so if I pause, I'm not stroking out. I'm just
quick comment here. Amy Rush Shepard said, "Let's go Red Raiders." She's hitting the road to Rock Hill on Friday. That's going to be a good game, Amy. Definitely keep us updated if you want to send us some comments on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Love to have some pictures of it. That's going to be a game that we're definitely going to have our eye on Friday night for sure.
Impressive stadium there in Rock Hill. You'll enjoy that.
D3 Stadium. You love this.
Yeah. So with 3A, here's a big one here. I'm excited about this. Lakeview going to Aner.
Yeah, I saw Derek Bethea in here earlier, father of the quarterback there for Lakeview, DJ Bethea. Great player we talked about. I said, Lakeview a little bit young. Maybe don't have the depth they usually do. We'll see what happens against Aner. We'll see.
Anything can happen with the throw-off.
Especially with the way Aner plays, that may be a good thing for Lakeview. Not spreading it out. You don't have to have as much depth. I don't know. We'll see. But they could also grind the clock and wear them down. So hard to say what's going to happen with Aner there. Hard to say what happens. But should be a good ball game between a 1A school and a 3A school. Aner, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
North Charleston at Baptist Hill. Seneca will go to Blacksburg. Woodmont at Blue Ridge. Gray Collegiate, as we said, going to Zip Stadium and play Camden.
One of the games of the week.
Pendleton at Clinton.
I believe that's playing. That's happening.
How about Lake City at Dillon?
Yes, also happening. Also, big news we saw earlier, Dillon scheduled a game with Myrtle Beach for week 1 now. Myrtle Beach had to change their schedule due to some of the 5A schools down there switching up the way they're doing their contest this year, and Dillon needed to fill a game, and here we are.
That's
two powerhouses playing week 1. We're going to love to see that.
That'll be fun to talk about next week. Fox Creek will go to East Clarendon. 96 at Emerald. Philip Simmons will go to Georgetown.
I believe that one might be canceled.
Military Magnet at Hanahan. Canceled. Sorry, Steve Murphy. Timberland will not go to Keenan because Keenan's going to play Jake.
Cancel.
So Timberland not playing this week. Crestwood will go to Lancaster.
Canceled.
Hemingway at Manning. Mid Carolina will go to Newberry. As we said, Goose Creek playing Oceanside at Citadel's Haygood Stadium. Broome maybe going to Powdersville.
I don't know.
I think Powdersville is technically Anderson County.
I think they're playing. We'll see.
I don't know. I know Powdersville's kind of.
Yeah.
But sure, I don't think they're Pickens County. I think they're a little south of that. Saludo at Strom-Thurmond. That could be a really good game. Strom-Thurmond is one of those teams that we haven't talked about in that region, and Strom-Thurmond's got a good program. Well, Airport going to Swansea. I think I said that one already. Carter's Bay
hosting Marion now.
They were scheduled to go to Waccamaw. That's going to be a good game, Carter's Bay Marion.
Yep.
Chesney at Woodruff.
Should be a good ball game there, I think, really.
And then we'll jump to 1A here. McCormick going to Abbeville. Big test from McCormick early. But that's a game where McCormick's a tough team.
We've got the good players. So the Durant kid at running back is a good player for them. So we'll see if they can put up a fight against Abbeville.
Allendale Fairfax will go to Blackville Hilda. Cross will go to Burke. Ware Shoals at Calhoun Falls. King Street not playing this week, is correct?
King Street is, they're not playing. I don't think.
They were scheduled to play C.E. Murray.
Yep. Quick note about Calhoun Falls. They've only got 13 players this year.
Yikes.
How do you even play it? I mean, that's obviously you're playing both ways, but holy cow.
That's like playing basketball.
That's crazy.
Holy moly. C.A. Johnson will go to Denmark Olar. Bamberg Earhart at Edisto. McNee will go to Hannah Pamplico. Lake Marion going to Hunter Kenner Tyler. Timmonsville is scheduled to go to Lamar. I believe that game is still on.
I think it might have been canceled, actually. We'll see.
That used to be a big-time game in the PD. Wagner Sally going to Peoria.
Canceled. Lamar Timmonsville's canceled. Sorry. Go ahead.
Batesburg Leesville at Ridge Spring Monetta. Estill at Ridgeland Hardyville. Southside, okay. This says Southside's playing themselves.
Southside Christian. So that game was scheduled for Southside High School, the public school. Now they're playing. Southside High School will be going to Southside Christian over on Woodruff Road Friday night.
That actually be a pretty good game.
Should be. New coach for Southside. Southside Christian defending 1A champs. Interesting to see what happens there Friday night.
Calhoun County will go to Whale Branch. Great Falls will go to Whitmire. And rounding it out, Barnwell at Williston Elko.
So a lot of good games in the state. Obviously, I had to rattle off, 20 that have been canceled or so. Hopefully we don't see any more of that. We'll see. But now I want to bring in to you guys and let you know about our new weekly pick'em we're going to be doing. John and I have worked this out. We're going to do about 10 games a week is what we're going to do. We've got a Google form filled out. I'll post it either after the show tonight or tomorrow. Basically, you go in there. It's got 10 games. You click who you want. You put in your email, your name, and we'll track it for you. At the end of the year, we're going to have a prize for the winner. I can't tell you exactly what the prize is going to be yet, but we've got a prize set aside for you guys. So definitely get in there with our Pick'em Weekly. See if you can beat me. See if you can beat John. Should be really cool. We'll keep you updated each week with the standings and whatnot. And John, let's run through the 10 games that are going to be part of that, just so you'll know going into it. Obviously, our 4 games of the week, we've got Greenwood at Hillcrest, Gray Collegiate at Camden, Goose Creek at Oceanside Collegiate, Gaffney at Spartanburg, all a part of the contest. The other 6 will be Burns at Greer. Always a good game week 1. We'll see how that one turns out. Clover at Dorman. We mentioned that one earlier. South Point at Northwestern, a game I'm looking forward to seeing what Northwestern can do with the Madison kid there. Lakeview at Ainer, another game we mentioned earlier. It's interesting to see what Lakeview can do going on the road to a bigger school there. Saluda at Strom-Thurmond should be a great ball game. And then finally, it will be Greenville at Rock Hill. That will round out our 10 games for our weekly pick'em, John. I'm excited. I'm going to go 10-0 every week. I'm just going to tell you guys that. I hate to see it. We do have it set aside where we're going to drop your lowest score of the season. So if you miss a week or whatever, we'll take that into account. And whoever gets the most right at the end of the year, you win a prize. So definitely get involved with that. John, that's going to be really cool to have that going there.
Yeah, I am really excited about it. Obviously, we're not eligible for any of the prizes,
What?
but we are going to talk trash for anybody that we beat on here. I expect to beat everyone, including Kevin. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, the weekly pick is going to be fun. Going to be fun. So we'll get that link posted. Feel free to share it and tell your friends. I mean, you know, we as many people who can play this to be as many, it would be great. So quick shout out, Denise Amos getting in here with some comments. So watch out for Ren number 90. Hey, we know he's a player. We know he's a big player. Going to be a big game against Dutch Fork. Charles Miller, actually speaking of that game, said what do you think the score will be of Dutch Fork and Ren. Hope Ren can keep it close. Charles, I hope they can too. I mean, honestly, if you want me to tell you the truth, I'm thinking like 35-14 Dutch Fork. I would love to see Ren win this thing. Love to see Ren keep it close. I think Dutch Fork may have a little bit too much firepower. We'll see. But I'm thinking in kind of a two. I think probably 3-score difference.
I'm thinking like 45 or 49-10.
Whoa, John's going big blowout.
I think Dutch Fork's going to score pretty easily. The Ren defense last year, it struggled with Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel's very, very good. Dutch Fork's deeper.
Yeah.
They can throw the ball. I assume they're going to be able to throw the ball. They got a great receiver on their side. I think I want to believe that Ren can move the ball, but I don't see this being.
And like we said, we like Ren a lot. We think they're going to be a really good team. You know, Williams on defense, like we mentioned. Nick Morgan on defense is a good player. New quarterback though with Trey Horn. We'll see how that works out and whatnot. I think that Dutch Fork is just tough, man. Those boys are tough. Couple more comments here. Mark Tyrell Corley said he likes that Greg Camden game. Yeah, that'll be a great one, man. Definitely getting our pick. I'd love to have you in there. Comment from Derek Bethea. I said hopefully let you can pull it off against Ainer. They're tough. Yeah, Ainer's tough, that offense. I mean, you know how that goes. I'm trying to see what Lakeview can do, but
that'd be a huge win. That'd be a huge
I'm pulling for the Wild Gators as well. See what they can do there. Talking to some local PD boys there. See how that turns out. But that'll be a great game. So all you guys definitely getting our pick 'em. We're going to post it tonight or tomorrow. Love to have you in there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I do want to say this. I don't know if I've asked this before or not, but if you guys like our page, love to have you go invite your friends to like our page. So basically, just go to the page, click the little drop down, invite all your friends. You know, love to make this a bigger deal, get more viewers and more comments each week, and make it fun and an even better show each week for me and John to be doing for you guys. So
yeah, I think the more people we have doing the pick, and we'll just add a whole nother level to it. You know, we have a ton of trash talk during the season between fan bases, and that's great. But we can get, you know, not too personal, but maybe a little bit, you know, with the picks. We'll talk about the standings. Maybe we'll, you know, read off the top 10, you know, who did really well, maybe who did really poorly each week. So I think that's going to be really exciting, a lot of fun to talk about, too.
Yeah. Do want to give one more quick shout out. Actually, I want to talk about this first, John. I don't know if you guys have followed us on Twitter or not, but Region, I believe it's 6-5A or whatever down there on the coast, the Big 5A region, has made a decision to go to playing each region team twice this year. So they're going to play them first. They're going to play them again. Still got 3 non-conference games they can schedule there. But, you know, what they're going to do is the second region game is going to count as a region game. The first count matchup is not going to count unless the second one is canceled due to COVID. Then the first one counts. So, John, we tried this at lunch today. You would hate to think this would happen in high school football, but do you see a chance of one of these coaches, maybe last game of the year, if you win, you go to the playoffs, you lose, you don't. Maybe you say your team came down with COVID and you don't play the game if you've already beat that team earlier. I mean, I don't want to say it's going to happen, but it could cross some guys' minds for sure.
I don't know any of those programs, you know, further than what, you know, we see on scores and whatnot and players. But I know, I don't want to say I know for a fact, but there are programs around the state, not in that region, that would absolutely, I think, would say, oh, we're in the playoffs if we don't play this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hey, Josh, you look a little sick. Yeah, we're not playing. I could absolutely see that happening. Hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah.
But, hey, you know, this is a cutthroat business. We saw last year, and I love that teams were getting on Twitter, and they're doing it again now, you know, asking for games.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was. Somebody, I want to say it might have been Blythewood. Somebody was reaching out and wanted to play Blythewood. And Blythewood wanted to play.
I think that was Vern Blythewood trying to get us scheduled.
There was no response or anything. So I think just going off of that, some teams going, no, we don't want to play.
Yeah.
If someone gets into the playoffs or they get an upset in that first game, I'm willing to bet it's gonna cross their mind. Man.
Yeah, that region is Carolina Forest, Sumter, Sockasty, St. James, and Conway. So see how that works out. Comment here, I don't know if you hit this one or not, John, but Jimmy Searson says, what about a prediction for Beaufort and Richmond Hill? I'm gonna pick Beaufort. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Richmond Hill, but that Beaufort team I think is gonna be one of my kind of sleeper teams this year in that classification.
I don't know anything about Richmond Hill either. I know they're out of Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close to Beaufort County there. I think Beaufort's going to be a good team as well. I can't put a prediction on because I don't know anything about Richmond Hill.
Yeah,
but
I think Beaufort's gonna take that game. I mean, that's a big matchup week 1 or week 0 for them. So we'll see how that goes. Big shout out here to Mark Tyrell and Jimmy and Denise saying they're gonna keep sharing the word for us. Appreciate you guys. That means a lot for sure. Do want to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors before we head out of here. The George Agency, Bradley, Wayne, and the crew there serving South Carolina for over 35 years. Life insurance, health insurance, employee benefits. They can help you out with all that stuff. If you're a seasonal worker or whatever it is, give those guys a call, thegeorgeagency.net. Offices in Mullins and Merle's Inlet. They can help you all across the state. I know they've got clients in Greer and Rock Hill and Aiken and Columbia. So don't be afraid to reach out even if you're in a different county or a different city than one of those two. John, you want to give us the new sponsor sound one more time? Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Glad to have these guys on board there. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees that other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Security Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securitydadvantagefcu.com. That's securitydadvantagefcu.com. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. So glad to have those guys on board. Like I said, if you guys know some businesses who want to sponsor us, let us know. We'll happily shout them out weekly. So big shout out to those guys. Want to appreciate you guys tuning in again. And like I said, if you haven't liked our page or our video, like our page here. It's Moving the Chains SC. Share it. Tell all your friends. Love for you to go hit the drop down there on our main page and click invite friends. Invite all your friends would be awesome. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Moving the Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Follow us on YouTube where we post a video afterwards. Also have the video here. So if you missed it live, you can watch it again later on. Got the audio only version on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all those good things. And we just got some really good content coming for you guys. Like I said, we've added a third member to the team who's going to work on some recruiting stuff with us. John and I are going to be doing these weekly preview shows now. I think that'll kind of give us some traction going into the big games. Then we'll do some wrap-up stuff the weekend after the games. I think we're going to be at Hillcrest. Greenwood is looking like, hopefully, Friday night. So if you guys are at a different game, definitely send us your pictures. Send us the scores. Send us videos, updates. We can't be everywhere every night. So love to have you guys kind of helping us learn more about these teams and keeping up with what's happening on a Friday night. So love to get your input each and every week. John, anything else you want to add here before we hit the road for the week?
Well, I looked through the Rivals top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody from Richmond Hill on there. So
let's go Beaufort. Let's go Eagles.
Good time for Beaufort.
I'm taking them. So once again, check out our pick'em. We're going to post that link either tonight or tomorrow. Get in there. Fill it out. Hopefully win some prizes. Tell your friends about that as well. That'll be a cool thing we're going to do each week. We'll keep up with the standings and whatnot for you. Like I said, just get in there, enter your email, your name, and then pick the 10 games we've got. So
if you're scared, if you get your feelings hurt easy, don't do it. Just put that disclaimer out there.
That's right. Also, check us out Friday, ESPN Upstate here in the Upstate. We'll be on the Rob Brown Show. Not sure what time yet, but it's also on the Odyssey app. 97.7 and Greenwood 97.1 in Spartanburg, doing some upstate previews on Friday.